everybody, it's Christine. Are y'all ready for day 10 of 30 Days of Sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life? Because I kind of am. So let's look at our sketch. It's by Sarah Davies, which this is completely her style, by the way. If you watch her on YouTube, which I do basically every time she posts, she uses usually a white cardstock and then bunches of scraps and things like that. So this totally feels like her. And then she has this circle here, and then there's a photo with, you know, some little embellishment things here. And then she has a little baby bit down here. So what I have is, I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to do this exactly, because I do have, this is when we went to DC, I had all these ephemeras on my desk, you guys. So I was like, I have to get these scrapped. So this was the National Museum of the American Indian, and this was one of the pieces of art in there, and I thought it was just beautiful. I don't actually know if that's some kind of translucent pottery. I'm thinking it might be. I don't think it's a stone. I think it's a translucent pottery of some kind. Or they shined a light on it, made it do something. Anyways, the point is it's a piece of art. And I pulled out some fall hip kit stuff because the colors went really well. I thought the blues and the oranges, right? And I love this circle-y stuff. It just feels very whatever. This is just neat. So anyways, I'm going to use these. I'm not really going to count because she's just kind of got like, you know, various ones. So I'll kind of come in here and I'll use these various different ones. I will probably go get me a piece of white cardstock because that is kind of her thing. I may try to do some mixed media maybe over here. I don't know if that's what she would have done. Maybe I'm thinking about that. She does use a lot of mixed media, so I might do that. Or maybe a stencil. Let me do a stencil. Anyways, so let me go get my cardstock, my piece of white cardstock. I do need to figure out this as well. I may just put this like as one of the strips, maybe, kind of. I mean, I hate to cover it, but honestly, the odds of me ever opening this to get like into the hours and things like that is probably not going to happen. But I would do something like this maybe, or even just this. I need to think about that because I don't want to cover up too much. And this building was just beautiful, by the way. This building was just stunning. So maybe I don't know. I need to think on that just a second. Let me get my cardstock and I'll be back on in a minute.
Okay, you guys. So I did decide to bring in a stencil, and I have this really neat round one. I think it's the only round one I have, which is why I grabbed it. But then at the same time, I really like it because it's got this cool, it's like one of those like negative stencils or something. I don't know how to explain it because I'm going to put the ink over it, and it's like the stuff around the outside, it gives you the shape. I don't know how to explain it. It's like a reverse one or something. So I'm kind of figuring this out, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. I cover the front of the flyer. I cover the pretty building, but just from a design standpoint on my layout, I kind of needed to. Now, that being said, I did make it to where I can still open that flyer. I don't show you on video, but you'll see in a minute when I attach the photo, it goes on the front, and I leave it where I can open everything. So I take my stencil here, and I'm using, it's the Honey. Oh my goodness, you guys, I cannot remember the exact name of it, but it's something, oh, it's on the screen there, I think. Something Honey Distress Oxide. I actually brought in the Rusted Hinge, and I'll use it later. I had a little idea, and I do execute on it, but at the same time, I kind of wished I'd done. I feel like I might have created an underwhelming layout, and I'll tell you why. We have my husband decided he wanted to have the air conditioning and the heater units, you know, like a maintenance, like a seasonal review, which is not a bad thing, but they always find something wrong, you guys. And the guy comes in and he goes, oh, your heaters are leaking freaking gas. And so he had turned them off. He said, by law, I have to turn off your heaters. And it was like, oh, crap. And no wonder our gas bill was high. We had a $271 gas bill last month. I'm like, what the heck? So, yeah, that was $1,000 to get that fixed, you guys. So, and that was happening during this layout here. So my poor layout suffered the consequences of this shockingly expensive house repair. But I am happy with it. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm not happy with it, but I was just like, oh, you poor layout. You didn't get as much attention maybe as others. But on the same token, I think it looks fine because I do have all these nice papers over here layered. I did not put any of those florals. When I was kind of looking at it, you may have seen there was like some leaves and some florals or something like that because it's a fall collection. I didn't put those on here because that's not really the thing, right? This is not the thing. It's not a fall layout per se. But you can see I've kind of layered my layers over there, and I'm making my little baby bit down here on the bottom, and I'll use two of my papers there. I'll actually pull in a branding strip in a minute too. I didn't at first, and then I go, I need one more. So I'm going to use wet glue. Sarah uses wet glue all the time, so I'm going to use wet glue here. And I'll glue, and I'll do kind of like she does. You kind of put your photo mat together before you ever glue it down to your piece of paper. And I thought that was a good decision here as well, because I did have that ink, you know, the stencil ink stuff. And I didn't want to accidentally glue things in the wrong direction or whatever the deal was. So I'm going to just kind of bring these back over. I also did scuff the edges of the papers. And so it gives it a little bit of texture there. So I've kind of got all this going on. And I think I actually adjust that yellow piece. Yeah, there we go. I bring the things up. And I like this, right? I think this looks really neat. I like this a lot. I thought about bringing in like string or something, because she'll add little bits of string here and there and all that. But honestly, like I said, this layout was happening at a time that my house was, we were having these house issues, and I just didn't have the brain power, the emotional fortitude. I don't know what you want to call it, but it was like, it was a nice, clean, simple layout, and I just emotionally had to be finished with it. So anyways, I've got my little branding strip here, and I'll glue that in just a second. And then I'm going to get into my binder of my hip kit things. I've told you guys I've organized all my hip kit ephemeras and things like that into a binder, and that has been so stinking helpful, you guys. Hip kit colorways, I've mentioned this before, you can usually kind of cross them over, at least certain ones, you know, they work with each other. And so I pulled out my binder, and there was a collection last year, I want to say in the summer, I don't recall which month, that had like outdoorsy type stuff and maybe hiking type stuff. And then some of that was also like Native American type stuff. Because if you imagine, I'm imagining the whole collection was kind of meant for like either Colorado or that kind of thing, right? So I got into my binder, and there was a couple of stickers. One says it's a bear, and it says explore more rather. And I'm going to put that on the left-hand side. There's a word, it says tribe, and there's a little feather. And I'll put that, I'm actually going to cover up the word floor plan in a minute. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I've got into these stamps here. So this is the thing I used the rusted hinge on. I really wanted to use more than one stamp, but the other stamp that came in the collection was bigger, and I didn't really want to introduce anything bigger. I thought that was going to be a little bit overwhelming. So I looked, you guys. That's why I put that on stop there, because I went looking in all my other stamps, and nothing was going to be the right shape. Either it was way too florally, something. It just wasn't right. So I decided just to go ahead and just do splatters instead. And then I'm going to add, in the lower right corner, I'm going to add a little circle in there. Here's where I'm looking at this tribe thing. I'll go, oh, that looks kind of neat. I'm going to put that up there, cover up the floor plan. And I kind of messed with it for a second, because I don't want to have some of it showing, but not all of it. So then I thought maybe I'll put that little green piece. No. So I had to put the little feather that covers up the far right side of that word plan. And I think that looks kind of cool. And then the green piece is going to go down on the bottom. I'm going to find that little bear in just a minute that says explore more. And I'll put that next to I'm going to call it the title, the National Museum, the little square that's on there. I'm going to call this, that's my title. And I'm going to put the little bear next to it. And he kind of points into the square. So I like that a lot. And then the little green banner says it was an amazing day out. And I love that too. We did walk to the museum, by the way. So it counts. It's kind of hiking, right? And then I had these really old Bow Bunny little puffy things. There's these little chevrons. So I'm kind of using those a little bit of an arrow. Kind of where she had the little mini stars or whatever written, where you'd put some embellishments. And I put a couple down there and then up there. And then what else do I do, you guys? Do I do anything else to this layout? I don't know that I do. Oh, this is where I'm figuring out I want to put this little banner over here. Sorry. I told you about that, but that's just now just where I did it. These are actually little textured stickers in the sense of like, oh, you kind of saw there, I could open it. They're like little fabric stickers. So that's all I did to the layout, you guys. I hope it's not underwhelming and hope it did the sketch justice. I do like it. I like it a lot. And I can still open my pamphlet. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure you check out the playlist and all the good. Everybody that's playing along, make sure you give them some love. I'm certain Sarah's playing. In fact, all the people that are giving us the sketches are most likely playing along because they're exclusive. So we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.